Chapter 3 in our Social Media for Small Businesses course. Today, we are going to talk about scheduling tools, how to develop a posting schedule, and all the analytics behind each platform, why you need to use them, why you need to understand them, and everything that involves analytics throughout all of social media. So starting off, we are going to talk about why you should schedule your posts and what kind of a tool you should use. So the first thing is when you schedule your posts out, you get a much more cohesive aesthetic. And what that means is it basically forces you to think about the branding of all your posts, how everything looks, how visually appealing all your posts are. It's going to make you look at the Instagram grid to see how all these things fit together. That's a really important part of what someone sees when they first come to your profile. They see the top 9. You need to have it look good. That's, you have 2 seconds to make them stay and scroll. And if it doesn't look good, they're probably going to leave. So that's really important. It's also going to make you think about the order that you're posting the content. So if you're posting 2 or 3 testimonials in a row, that's not the greatest idea. If you're posting 2 or 3 links or articles in a row or anything, you really want to diversify your content. And you can do that through a scheduling tool. The next thing, or the next reason you should use a tool, is that it really is going to save you a lot of time. A lot of people who haven't used a scheduling tool think that it sounds time intensive and it's actually going to take more time, but it is actually going to save you time. If you are taking this class, if you're taking this course, you're probably a small business owner like we've established. You have a million things on your plate and you're wearing a lot of hats. The last thing you need to do is add a ton of time to your plate. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to win back time. It's going to force you to sit down and schedule everything out for your week, or even better, 2 weeks, or even better, a month. If you can do that, if you can sit down and be disciplined and schedule out your content, it will save you time, because trying to get in there every day and post and think about what you're posting and create content or research hashtags, whether it's, in the morning or on your lunch break or whatever time of day that might be, it's not going to come together as well as it could if you were sitting down and scheduling everything out. The next thing that it affects is the engagement on all the platforms. If you're sitting down and you're scheduling everything out and you're using a tool, first of all, you are just guaranteed that you have content going out. So, we all know how life works. If you are going to say, all right, I know today at, 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to have a break and I'm going to schedule this new thing, or I'm going to talk about this event or whatever, something is going to happen. The law of life. Something will happen. You won't get the post out. It's going to be 8 o'clock at night. You're going to be tired. You're not going to want to post. And then the day's gone by. And then 2 and 3 days have gone by, a week, a month, however much time. And you're not going to get the right content out there. You're not going to get as much content out there. The recommended amount of content is 3 to 4 posts a week at the minimum. If you really are seriously trying to grow your following and you're trying to gain business through these profiles and these platforms, you're going to need to post 3 to 4 times a week. If you're really serious about your growth and you really want to step up your engagement, you need to post daily. And that is a lot of content. That takes a lot of time. And if you're trying to do that every day, you could end up spending 10 to 20 hours a week, putting it all together, figuring out what to do, trying to create ideas and stuff on the fly. It is so much more time effective to sit down and schedule everything out. The next thing that it'll allow you to do too is when you're creating content on the fly, you're not thinking about it from a high level perspective. You're not sitting down and typing out, long, engaging captions, which is really what it's going to take, especially on LinkedIn and on Instagram now. A lot of thought needs to go into those captions. They need to be interesting to read. They need to provide value to your audience. And they really need to be thought out from an SEO perspective. So if you're sitting there on the fly at a red light, on your lunch break, just like trying to knock out posts, it's just all the pieces aren't going to be there. They're not going to come together as well as they could. So again, one more reason. So then we're also going to talk about analytics and how the analytics of each platform or all the platforms really tie into everything. It's really important, just first of all, that you go in and you look at the analytics of each platform. for the most part, you're going to get the same metrics. You're going to see impressions, you're going to see reach, you are going to see clicks, you are going to see engagement. Each platform has their own tools. So you are going to have specific metrics based on each platform. But for the most part, the ones you're going to watch are going to be the same. And some of the main reasons you want to learn about the analytics and learn what your analytics are is because it's going to give you optimal times to post. So this is one more reason, again, going back a couple minutes to the scheduling tool. Most scheduling tools are going to do a lot of this legwork for you, which is awesome. We really like Sprout, we like Later, we like Planoly. These tools are going to say, hey, Mallory, hey, whoever, your audience is most engaged Tuesday at 4 p.m. So that's when you should do your posting, or Monday at 6 a.m. That's when you should do your posting. It takes a lot of time and research to go into each platform and get those numbers yourself and to learn about that yourself. So that's one more reason to actually use a scheduling tool. But again, even if you're not going to use the tool and you're going to go in and you're going to dig for that yourself, it's very important that you learn what those optimal posting times are. And you can kind of get a gauge for that too. One thing that you should do as you're thinking about the content you're posting and you're thinking about who you're posting it for is you want to think about when they're on the platforms. And maybe you can kind of guess that and maybe you can't. But for an example, if you are a company and you have some cool product for moms, bottles, handbags, I don't know, shoes, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Things that moms love, headphones, whatever. If you are getting on Instagram and you are posting about this stuff at 7:30 in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, these moms, they're not going to see it. They are making breakfast. They are taking their kids to school. They are running around. They're not going to see this stuff. So a tool or looking at the analytics is immediately going to tell you, don't post during these time frames. You only have a couple seconds after you post for your post to rank and for it to start getting engaged with. And then if it doesn't, it's gone. So you need to make the most of your posts and you really need to understand the time frames. The next reason to really try to understand the analytics is you want to see all the different ways you're driving traffic to your website. And for each platform, those ways are going to be different. You really want to think about the call to actions you're using, and you want to think about the different call to actions that you're giving people. So for example, on Facebook, you can post a link. You can use a call to action button. On Instagram, you can use a swipe up. You can use a reference to click the link in your bio. For Twitter, it's a little simpler. You can put posts or put links in posts, and you can put links in your bio. And for LinkedIn, it's similar, but between all of those, you'll want to see which ones work better. So for certain people, you might notice that the swipe ups on your Instagram are 10 times more effective than constantly trying to tell people to click the link in your bio. So if that's the case, then focus on what works. And you're only going to know what works by analyzing the metrics and by looking into those analytics and all the insights in the tools. The other thing to consider too when you're looking at the analytics and all the content you're posting is where you are doing the majority of your selling. So, the majority of social media, for the most part, is going to be brand awareness. And you're always going to be able to somehow figure out how to drive your leads, but there should always be a brand awareness component. And what kind of the ratio that we recommend is to kind of do your branding on the surface, on all the front-facing things. So the feed posts, the bio, things like that. You're going to want to talk about your company, but from less of like a sales standpoint and more of just a branding standpoint. You're going to want to do all the promotions and all the selling behind the scenes. So that's where you utilize the stories and the swipe ups and, the lives and things like that. And that's going to kind of give you, again, in the previous course, we talked about all the different ways you're going to reach people. And this is going to, show you where your audience is responding to, what they're watching, how they're interacting. And it's just going to allow you to keep tailoring down your strategy more and more and more.